clear advantage for the Oilers in net. And I can't believe I'm saying that. Mike Smith, I love Mike Smith. Like, I love his battle. I love that he's 40 and this is the closest he's been in a decade to winning a Stanley Cup. I love the monumental mistakes and moments that he's had in these playoffs and the goals that he's given up and how he's been pulled, and that game 3 in Edmonton when he re-entered. There's been so many amazing Mike Smith moments this postseason. And I love the chirps that I get from people on social media when I wrote the story last week about Mike Smith being the most compelling story of the playoffs, is people don't recognize how good, even with all those mistakes, like we're not changing or shifting around the numbers or carving out certain games. These playoffs, he has a .927 save percentage.
I know. And
his career save percentage is .931 in the playoffs. He's right there. And the Oilers clearly love playing for him. Mike Smith chasing a cup is like one of the best stories going right now.
Frank, Mike Smith is the perfect example for what I like to call highlight reel analysis. The people who only focus, oh, here's Mike Smith, he let in a 132 footer. Well, guess what? It's one goal. You can let in a slap shot from the slot. It's one goal. It doesn't have more value. Now, people can look at it and they like to talk about it, especially the negative-minded people. They like to focus on that. Oh, look, Mike Smith mishandled the puck once. Meanwhile, he plays it well 60 times in a row, makes life for his defense. When Brett Kulak raves about how much easier it is to play with a goalie like that, they don't focus on that. And so I love that you bring up the overall number, because that's what matters. It's the overall. Can Mike Smith make plays that at times are going to make the blooper reel? 100%. But
he does it once every 5 games. Honestly, you can set your watch to it. Like at some point during this Western Conference final, he will screw something up in absolutely fantastic fashion. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And you look at it, and sure, ideally, like, you know what, if they go up against Vasilevsky or Shesterkin, obviously Ranta would be an advantage. But I think if Shesterkin or Vasilevsky, you're going to look and say, okay, advantage to the East. But Darcy Kemper, the way he's played right now. Darcy Kemper, I think, is capable of playing.
He has the ability for sure,
but he's not doing it right now. And that's going to be that to me is going to be the key, is to see all of a sudden how he reacts, especially against the most this is the 2 highest scoring teams on average in the playoffs, right? And the Edmonton Oilers, man, they can score, and it's their best players. And I've always argued this when it comes to expected goals, Frank. When I have Evander Kane or Connor McDavid 15 feet in the slot compared to Zach Cassian or Josh Archibald, it ain't the same, right? So unless you have a place that's tracking who the shooter is, I'm always going to have a little bit of a raised eyebrow for expected goals, right? Because who the shooter is a vastly major important factor on it. Just the truth.
Well, it is. And to your point, Kemper and the Abs haven't faced an offense like this. Like, with all due respect to the Preds and the Blues, like they haven't been cooking like the Oilers have.
Yeah.
So to come through those 2 teams with just a .904 mark for Kemper, as I said, he's ripe for the picking. He's right there.
Yeah. And the one thing I will say though about Colorado is Kemper and his goals against, they don't face a lot of shots. And I do wonder if he plays better when he gets more shots, right? Like I'm always curious about that a little bit, because some goalies I've talked to them about that, and they just, you look at the shots against right now, the Edmonton Oilers, Mike Smith faces a lot of rubber. Now, shots against don't have to be all quality chances. We have to take the next step, but just facing pucks right now, Mike Smith's facing 10 more shots a game than Kemper is, right? Colorado is allowed 27 per game. The Oilers are allowing 37 per game. Now, once again, I'll break it down into high quality chances, and that's very different, because where you're letting the shots go from matters, right? And the LA Kings shot from everywhere, Frank. They were tons of low percentage shots that were just, hitting the goalie, right? But you feel the puck more. A, it makes your save percentage look better for sure. But B, lots of goalies, they just love feeling the puck, right? And so I'll be curious about this. And the thing about Edmonton is all season long, they're not a team that really wastes a ton of shots. You rarely see their skill guys, Frank, just wasting one from the outside. It doesn't happen. So, you might have your third and fourth line guys come in with that 50-foot wrist shot, which the goalie just swallows up and it's a nothing play. But Edmonton's top guys don't do that. And so, Kemper's going to have to be on his toes because they create a lot of high danger chances.
Yep. And the Oilers, unlike the other teams that the Avs have played so far, can really make you pay on odd man rushes.
Yes.
So that's the one other facet of the game to kind of keep an eye on.